Built to Create Value, Session 15. Why Entrepreneurs Fail. Written by Daniel Eremesele. Introduction. Welcome to Built to Create Value, a practical guide to developing the mindset, character, and skills of a successful entrepreneur, written by Daniel Eremesele. This is Session 15, Why Entrepreneurs Fail. Failure in entrepreneurship rarely comes from one single cause. It is usually the result of several weaknesses interacting over time. These may include poor financial control, weak customer demand, inadequate knowledge, bad timing, poor leadership, distraction, fear, extravagance, or an unwillingness to learn. Studying failure is not pessimism. It is preparation. A wise entrepreneur does not study failure to become afraid of taking action. The entrepreneur studies failure to recognize warning signs, reduce avoidable risks, and develop the wisdom needed to build a stronger enterprise. As you listen, do not treat this session simply as information. Think about your life, your work, your business, and the kind of entrepreneur you are becoming. Chasing money before creating value. A business becomes vulnerable when the founder focuses only on extracting money instead of solving a meaningful problem. Profit is necessary. A business needs revenue to pay employees, purchase supplies, meet its obligations, improve its systems, and continue operating. However, sustainable profit must be supported by genuine value. Customers do not exist merely to finance your ambitions. They exchange money for a product, service, experience, or result they believe will improve their situation. Ask yourself, why should customers choose my business? What meaningful problem am I solving? What benefit do customers receive? Does the quality of my solution justify its price? When entrepreneurs chase money without creating sufficient value, they may resort to manipulation, exaggerated promises, poor quality products, or dishonest practices. Such methods may produce temporary income, but they destroy trust and weaken the future of the business. Place value first. Let profit become the reward for solving real problems consistently. Entering a business you do not understand. Enthusiasm is not a substitute for knowledge. An opportunity may appear profitable from the outside, but every business has costs, risks, regulations, customer expectations, and operational challenges that are not immediately visible. Before committing serious resources, understand the customer, competition, suppliers, pricing, production process, legal requirements, cash flow cycle, and common causes of failure within that industry. Some people enter a business because they see another person succeeding. They copy the visible activity without understanding the knowledge, relationships, experience, discipline, and systems supporting that success. Do not invest money simply because an opportunity is popular. Conduct research. Speak with experienced people. Start on a manageable scale. Test your assumptions before placing the entire business at risk. Ignorance becomes expensive when money is involved. Lack of customer demand. A good idea is not automatically a good business opportunity. You may admire your product, but the market must also recognize its value. A business cannot survive if too few people need, understand, or can afford what it offers. Before developing a product on a large scale, confirm that a genuine demand exists. Talk to potential customers. Ask questions. Observe their behavior. Test a simple version of the offer. Find out what they currently use, what frustrates them, and what they are willing to pay for a better solution. Do not confuse compliments with demand. People may tell you that an idea is wonderful and still refuse to purchase it. Demand is demonstrated when customers are willing and able to exchange money for the value you provide. Continue listening even after the business begins. Customer needs and expectations can change. A business that stops understanding its customers may eventually lose them. Lack of focus. Constantly jumping from one idea to another can prevent mastery. Some entrepreneurs begin one project, become excited about another opportunity, and abandon the first one before it has been properly developed. They repeatedly start but rarely build anything to maturity. Every new idea demands time, money, attention, and emotional energy. When these resources are divided across too many projects, none may receive enough support to succeed. Focus means giving the right opportunity enough disciplined attention to produce meaningful evidence. However, focus does not mean remaining permanently committed to a failing model. Wise entrepreneurs review the facts. They know when to remain patient, when to improve the strategy, and when to stop investing in something that no longer has a reasonable future. Do not abandon a good opportunity merely because results are not immediate. At the same time, do not continue feeding a failing idea simply because you have already invested in it. Focus must work together with honest evaluation. Fear of failure. Fear can keep people permanently at the starting line. They wait for perfect information, perfect timing, perfect confidence, perfect resources, and the complete absence of risk. Those conditions may never arrive. Preparation matters, but there comes a point when responsible action is required. You cannot learn everything about business before you begin. Some lessons only become available through experience. The objective is not to eliminate uncertainty. The objective is to manage it wisely. Start with a responsible experiment. Test the product. Serve a small group of customers. Learn from the results. Improve the process and move forward. Failure is painful, but refusing to act can also become a form of failure. It can leave valuable ideas undeveloped and abilities unused. Courage does not mean the absence of fear. It means taking responsible action despite uncertainty. Lack of vision. Without direction, a business can become trapped in daily survival. The entrepreneur may remain busy from morning until night but make little progress towards building a stronger organization. Vision forces you to think beyond today. It helps you determine where the business is going, whom it intends to serve, what standards it will represent, and what capabilities it must develop. A clear vision helps you distinguish an opportunity from a distraction. Not every profitable activity belongs inside your long-term direction. Some opportunities may generate temporary money while pulling attention away from the enterprise you truly need to build. Translate your vision into measurable goals. Decide what must happen during the next year, the next quarter, and the next month. Vision should not remain an inspiring statement on the wall. It must influence daily priorities and decisions. Poor financial management. Many businesses do not fail because they lack customers. They fail because money is poorly managed. Sales revenue is not the same as profit. Profit is not the same as available cash. Money visible in the business account may already be committed to rent, salaries, suppliers, taxes, debt, transportation, or future production. Entrepreneurs must understand costs, pricing, profit margins, cash flow, debt, and financial reserves. Keep accurate records. Separate business money from personal money. Prepare budgets and review them regularly. Know how much it costs to deliver each product or service. Do not spend money simply because it has entered the account. A business can appear profitable and still be unable to pay its obligations when they become due. This is why cash flow planning is essential. Good financial management may not appear exciting, but it protects the life of the business. Extravagant spending. Trying to look successful can destroy a business that is still trying to become successful. Some entrepreneurs spend money on expensive offices, vehicles, equipment, clothing, travel, and entertainment before the business has developed stable income. They use business resources to finance an image instead of building capacity. Protect your cash flow. Purchase what the business genuinely needs. Reinvest with purpose. Avoid unnecessary debt and delay non-essential luxuries. This does not mean presenting your business carelessly or refusing to invest in quality. It means understanding the difference between an investment that produces value and an expense that mainly produces appearance. A quiet business with healthy finances is stronger than an impressive-looking business with no cash. Underpricing products and services. Some entrepreneurs fail because they do not charge enough to sustain the business. They set prices based on fear, comparison, or the desire to attract everyone. They fail to calculate materials, time, transportation, labor, overhead, taxes, and the cost of future improvement. A price that customers appreciate but the business cannot survive is not a sustainable price. Underpricing can produce many sales while creating increasing financial pressure. Understand your costs. Study the market. Explain your value clearly. Develop different service levels where appropriate, but do not continually promise more than the customer is paying for. Fair pricing respects both the customer and the future of the business. Failure to build a team. Entrepreneurs who refuse to delegate eventually become bottlenecks. There is a limit to what one person can do. As the business grows, the founder may no longer have enough time or expertise to manage every responsibility effectively. Trying to control everything can delay decisions, frustrate employees, reduce quality, and exhaust the entrepreneur. Build a team around complementary skills. Employ people who can strengthen areas where you are weak. Communicate expectations clearly, provide the necessary training, and create accountability. Delegation does not mean abandoning responsibility. It means assigning work wisely while continuing to monitor standards and results. Strong people do not reduce your importance. They increase the organization's capacity. Poor leadership. A business can have a good product and still fail because of poor leadership. Employees may leave because they are disrespected, confused, unsupported, or treated unfairly. Important information may not be communicated. Conflict may be ignored. Standards may change according to the leader's emotions. Leadership requires clarity, consistency, courage, and character. Set a responsible example. Keep your commitments. Correct problems without humiliating people. Listen before making conclusions. Develop employees rather than merely demanding results from them. The culture of a business often reflects what its leadership repeatedly permits, rewards, and demonstrates. Failure to market effectively. Customers cannot purchase a product they do not know exists or do not understand. Some entrepreneurs create good products but assume that quality alone will attract enough customers. Quality is essential, but the business must also communicate. Effective marketing explains who the product is for, what problem it solves, what benefit it provides, and why customers should trust the business. Marketing should not depend on hype or deception. Tell truthful stories. Demonstrate results. Use clear language. Go where your customers are and communicate in ways they understand. Marketing is not merely making noise. It is helping the right people recognize the value you provide. Poor customer service. One disappointed customer may tell many other people about the experience. Poor communication, delayed delivery, disrespectful treatment, broken promises, and refusal to correct mistakes can damage a business. Customer service does not mean agreeing to every unreasonable demand. It means treating customers with dignity, communicating honestly, and taking responsibility when the business makes a mistake. Respond to complaints professionally. Study recurring problems. Improve the system instead of repeatedly apologizing for the same failure. A business that protects customer trust creates the possibility of repeat purchases, referrals, and long-term relationships. Excuses and perfectionism. Waiting for perfect conditions can become a lifelong habit. Perfectionism often sounds responsible, but it can hide fear. The entrepreneur continues planning, adjusting, and preparing without releasing anything to the market. Excellence develops through action, feedback, correction, and improvement. Start responsibly. Do not release something dangerous or dishonest, but do not wait until every detail is flawless before testing your idea. Excuses also prevent progress. Blaming the economy, customers, employees, competitors, family, location, or lack of resources may provide emotional relief, but it does not improve the business. Some external conditions are genuinely difficult. Nevertheless, the entrepreneurial question remains: what responsible action can I take with what is currently available? Repeating the same mistakes. Mistakes can become teachers, but only when they are reviewed. After a setback, ask, what happened? Why did it happen? What warning signs did I ignore? What did I contribute to the problem? What system can prevent it from happening again? Experience without reflection can simply produce older mistakes. Record important lessons. Change the process. Introduce a checklist, policy, budget, approval system, or review procedure that makes repetition less likely. The goal is not to live without mistakes. The goal is to become wiser because of them. Failure to adapt. A business model that worked yesterday may not work tomorrow. Customers move. Technology changes. Costs rise. Regulations develop. New competitors appear. Communication methods evolve. The entrepreneur must remain aware of what is happening inside and outside the business. Adaptation does not mean abandoning your values or changing direction every week. It means making intelligent adjustments based on reliable evidence. Ask what is changing, why it matters, and how the business should respond. Businesses that refuse to adapt may become irrelevant, even when they were once successful. Ignoring character and ethics. A business can survive a temporary financial difficulty more easily than it can survive a destroyed reputation. Dishonesty, manipulation, corruption, broken promises, and exploitation may produce short-term gains, but they weaken trust. Character is a business asset. Customers want to know that promises will be kept. Employees want fair treatment. Suppliers want agreements to be honored. Partners want accurate information. Build with integrity. Tell the truth. Accept responsibility. Correct mistakes. Refuse opportunities that require you to betray your values. Money gained by destroying trust may ultimately cost more than it provides. Neglecting personal development. The business cannot sustainably grow beyond the entrepreneur's ability to lead and manage it. As responsibilities increase, your knowledge, discipline, judgment, communication, and emotional maturity must also increase. An entrepreneur who stops learning eventually becomes a risk to the organization. Read, attend training, seek mentorship, study your industry, improve your financial knowledge, develop leadership ability, learn from customers, employees, competitors, and mistakes. The future of your business may depend on the person you are willing to become. How to respond to failure. Failure does not always mean the end of the entrepreneurial journey. Sometimes a product fails, but the entrepreneur gains valuable knowledge. A partnership may fail, but it reveals the importance of clear agreements. A marketing method may fail, but it provides information about customer behavior. After failure, do not rush to hide, blame, or repeat the same actions. Pause and review what happened. Separate facts from emotions. Accept responsibility for the decisions that belong to you. Identify the lessons and determine the next responsible step. You may need to adjust the product, change the business model, develop a missing skill, rebuild finances, or begin again on a smaller and wiser foundation. Failure becomes most destructive when it is allowed to define your identity. You experienced a failure, but you are not required to become a failure. Learn, rebuild, and move forward with greater wisdom. Personal reflection and action. Identify the 3 risks that could most seriously damage your business within the next 12 months. For each risk, write 1 preventive action and 1 response plan. Choose 1 mistake you have repeated and create a system that makes repetition less likely. Identify 1 expense that exists mainly to create an image rather than create value. Review your pricing and confirm that it covers your costs while providing a sustainable return. Ask whether your current product or service still solves a problem customers consider important. Identify 1 area where fear, perfectionism, or excuses have delayed responsible action. Write 1 lesson from a previous failure that can strengthen your future decisions. Closing. Thank you for listening to Session 15 of Built to Create Value, written by Daniel Eramesele. Take time to complete the reflection questions before continuing. Failure becomes useful when its lessons are converted into wiser decisions and stronger systems. In our next session, we will continue with developing your gifts, talents, and potential. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, and keep building your capacity to create value.